Hey everybody, it's November, that time of the year when it's starting to get kind of chilly, except in Texas, doesn't do that in Texas. But Walmart has out those fuzzy, soft, comfortable pants that you just want to snuggle on the couch with, the big floppy slippers and stuff. And I just can't resist just rubbing on them. They're so soft and cuddly. So I bought a pair, let's see, a really bright pair. But they're kind of baggy and floppy, which makes them kind of comfortable. But instead of the big old drawstring waist that kind of sticks out and makes you look kind of tubby, I'm going to show you how to take pants like these and make them fit better so that they're more attractive and not so floppy looking. But they're still comfortable. They're a little big, and I'm going to use them to make a shirt that matches boots. I mean, they're the same price for the small as they are the extra large, so why not buy the extra large for all that extra material and use it as pieces to make a shirt out of to match your nice, fuzzy, now flattering pants. I'm going to show you a simple step-by-step process how to make them look a lot more flattering and still be comfortable, of course. Oh, I have the floppy slippers to show you too. Now that's what you call style. Let's transform these into something fun and comfortable. So we're going to be taking this waistline right here and we're going to pull the drawstring out till we get a little piece of it that would go back down into about here. And we're going to splice a piece of elastic to each of these, cut them off, and then put the elastic in so it'll draw back. So you won't constantly have this bow sticking out and in the way. What we're going to do first is we're going to roll down the top of the pants and pull this up to where it's nice and snug, and then roll this down to a lower waistline, and we'll be pinning this excess that's hanging over, and we'll pin that across there, sew it right along that line, and then cut that excess off, and then flip this up to where you'll have a lower waistline. You don't have it all the way up here, but it'll be lower down there. And then you can either hand sew it or sew it through your machine, but we'll just take this little excess fluffy part off right at the line of the elastic. Okay, I have all the excess pinned off here. You can see I rolled it down pretty far because you'll want to go a little bit more than what's comfortable, because at the end, after you've trimmed all this off and taken it off, then you'll flip this other edge back up. So this edge is the one that will need to be at the comfortable height. So go just a little bit more than what's comfortable so that you can pin this all, and you can see the little pins that I pinned it all nice and all around that right along the edge of that elastic that's already there, because what we'll do is we'll sew it right along the elastic, but we'll leave like a 1/2 inch edge on it just so it doesn't fray, and then we'll just flip this up after we cut off a little bit, 1/2 inch out from that, just cut off all that excess. So do that all the way around, then take the tag off and sew right along the elastic line. So I pulled it up far enough to where the crotch was nice and tight. It's not baggy. I don't like a really baggy crotch. But when I did that, of course, on the bottom, the edge of the pant, now it's a little short for the ankles, and I don't like cold ankles above those cute little slippers. So we'll use the material from that other large pair of pants that we bought to be able to add an extra layer of material on the bottom of the pants. But now the crotch feels better and the waistline will be a little bit lower so it doesn't stick out and make us look like we're just like blah. So let's go ahead and sew along this elastic line and then trim off this excess, leaving a 1/2 inch edge right above that elastic line, and then we'll just flip this up. Okay, now we have all that excess stuff trimmed off and we have it flipped up the way it's supposed to be. You can see the stitches when I cut it. It raveled quite a bit. It gets all flaky all over, so I went ahead and put a stitch around it so it doesn't keep unraveling or getting flakes all over. And I stitched it right around there. I also pulled out the drawstring and spliced it. As you can see, I cut off the ribbon. I need to cut that off. cut off the ribbon and stitched it and put elastic in there and then just tuck it back in. Tuck it back in, and now they fit a lot better. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take care of this excess around the legs here. We're going to turn them inside out, put them on, and pin right along where the legs are so that we can cut off the excess on the sides. And we don't want them too tight, but probably just a little bit tighter than the bagginess that they are. Now I have it inside out. You can see the little stitching and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit in, and you want the seam right in the middle, because if you get it all sideways and stuff, then your patterns look gross. You want to keep the line straight up and down with the seam that's already there. So make sure that seam is in the middle of where you pinch in to resize it. And just take a pin and put it there and pin it to how tight you want it on your leg. You know, you don't want it like super tight, because then it really wouldn't be all that comfortable, but we do want to take a little bit of that off because that's kind of wide. So we're gonna leave this seam alone and just take off on the outside seam, and we'll just go straight down. Now if you want to, you could even taper it off to where the legs are bell bottom, but I don't think that's in style anymore. So we will just make the legs straight all the way down. Now from the hip, you don't want to, I mean, unless it's just really big around the waist, I'm going to leave the waist alone, but I'll just start at a very small angle and get farther and farther out to where it's a little bit farther out, you know, down the thigh. But up here by the waist, I don't want to get too tight, so I'm probably going to have a starting point right here. Now, in order to keep the legs the same width, I went ahead and pinned the one leg all the way down. And what I'm going to do is fold the pants in half and have this exact same outside seam of the other leg laid right along this one. And I will go ahead and pin this one at the exact same place as the other leg so that they are the exact same width, since I know for sure that my legs aren't lopsided, one fatter than the other. So I can go ahead and just take that other leg and pin it at the exact same place that I pinned the first leg. And so therefore you don't have to try to size both the legs while you've got them on. Just size one leg and then lay the other leg right on top of it and pin it at the exact same spot that you pinned the other leg. What we'll do is we'll sew right along where we pinned, and then we'll cut off the excess and put a loop around it so it doesn't, you know, a loop around the edge so it doesn't fray and shed all over. So just do that all the way down. Okay, I have them all sewed down the legs on the outside seam. Okay, I'm ready to cut into my big girl pants. As you can see, these are my pants that I altered to be nice and thin. These are the big pants that I bought, and it looks like it's going to work really nice to be able to cut off this portion down here that I need, and it's already got the finished edge. So what I'm going to have to do is make sure that I get it the same width as the pant leg that I have. You leave a little extra to be able to make a seam, because you'll have to have that little seam there. So I took those little pant leg sections from the large pants and I folded the top edge over and sewed it down, because on the inside it'll have a nice smooth edge, and this little rough edge will be hidden underneath that. So what I'm going to do now is put the right sides together, the nice side with the nice side, and slip it on there. And we're going to match up the outside seam. Obviously that the one that I cut off is a lot bigger, so what I'm trying to do is size it to my new pant leg size. So I'll make sure those seams are together and I'll pull it over, and where it stops over here I'm going to pin it to the same size of my other pant leg so that they match. And what I'll do is I'll pin it and then I'll sew it and then cut this excess off. So I pinned these to the inside with the rough edge of that second layer just underneath the hem of the first layer. So you just pin it right here, and you'll be sewing right along that edge there, so that the rough edge, it'll be right underneath that rough edge. And the side seams don't match on the inside. You want them to match on the outside, but they probably won't end up matching on the inside, which is fine. But this is what it will look like. It'll have that little second layer coming out so that your ankles don't get cold, but they fit nice, and oh, they're so soft. Okay, so they're all sewn on. You can see the little soft edge on the inside, and then you have this little lip right there. Okay, here's the pants. They're nice and comfy, they fit really good. Maybe you could even buy a pair of pants for someone that you know that would really enjoy snuggling on the couch, and then tell them about this video so they could have a little project to do to make them fit just right. Okay, so here they are, the finished product. They fit a little bit tighter, they're not so baggy and bulky, and it doesn't stick out because I replaced that little ribbon from the drawstrings with a piece of elastic, so that stays nice and flat. And I pulled the crotch up a little tighter, but then I had to lengthen them, but now they're nice and long, and they're comfortable, and I'm ready to snuggle up on the couch with a good book. Don't forget to tell somebody about this video so they too can have a fun, soft pair of pants to snuggle up with.